Hi all, it's Ziv from Elementor. The preview could not be loaded notice is an error that sometimes occurs in Elementor. The cool thing though is that usually it's quite easy to fix. The notice itself will try to point you as close as possible to the issue, such as a missing theme, or an htaccess file, or perhaps an HTTP error code. However, there might be cases where you will see a more general notice, we're sorry but something went wrong. In this video, I'll show you how you can easily troubleshoot and fix this error step by step, so you can get back to designing your website with Elementor in no time. Before we get started, it's important to know that if you get this error message on a WooCommerce page, such as the checkout or shop page, it's normal, because these pages can only be edited with the WooCommerce Builder, which is an Elementor Pro feature. This error also occurs when you're trying to edit your blog page with Elementor, or when you set a regular page as your posts page. You can click on Preview Debug to see which page you're actually trying to edit. In this case, you need to use Elementor Pro's Theme Builder instead of trying to directly edit with Elementor. You can learn more about editing your blog page and shop page with Elementor by checking the links in the description below. Okay, let's dive in and see how to solve this error. First off, an easiest thing to do is just to try edit in incognito mode in your browser. This rules out issues with add-ons or browser cache. So first copy the URL, and in Chrome click on the three dots in the upper right hand corner and choose New Incognito Window. A new window appears. You'll see this incognito icon indicating that you're in fact in incognito mode. Go ahead and paste the URL. Log in again to see if the error persists. You should also make sure that no add-ons are working in incognito mode. You can also try a different browser altogether. Now, if the issue is still present, you should ask yourself, have I recently installed any new plugins or updated existing ones? In most cases, loading issues are caused by conflicts between plugins or themes. So, in order to confirm this, you should activate safe mode. It creates a safe environment that isolates Elementor and WordPress from the themes and plugins that might be causing the error. There are two ways you can activate safe mode. You can click the Enable Safe Mode button that pops up at the bottom of the screen, or you can go to Elementor, Tools, and in General, select Enable from the Safe Mode dropdown and click the Save Changes button. Using Safe Mode opens the Elementor editor on a clean version of WordPress, without loading a theme or any plugins except for Elementor and Elementor Pro. All plugins are deactivated and an empty theme file is loaded. It's also important to know that Safe Mode doesn't impact your site's front end. It only impacts the editor. If it solves the issue, we can safely say that it isn't caused by Elementor or Elementor Pro. It also rules out the possibility of it being caused by the hosting, which leaves us with third-party plugins and themes as potential culprits. So keep this as a rule of thumb. If activating Safe Mode helps, it means that the issue is either plugins or theme related. So after successful debugging with Safe Mode, you need to follow these steps to solve your issue. First, you should deactivate the recently installed or updated plugins. If it solves the issue, you know that one of these plugins is the culprit. So reactivate each plugin one at a time and test your site with each reactivation. Keep testing until you find the plugin that is causing the error. Once identified, you can get in touch with the plugin's developers to request assistance or use another plugin with similar functionality. If the issue still remains, after having checked all plugins, you need to have a look at the theme. So first check that the theme file exists. Go to Dashboard, Appearance, and check to make sure that your theme is selected and active. If your theme is neither selected nor active, go ahead and install or reinstall it. The next thing you should do, in case the error notice still shows, is switch to a different theme. Go ahead and switch to a default WordPress theme such as 2016 or 2019. This helps rule out an issue with the theme's code. If switching to a default theme solves the issue, then a theme conflict is causing the error. In this case, you should contact your theme support and ask them to make sure that the WordPress default loop is used in your layout. Now, if Safe Mode doesn't solve the issue, it means that the issue most likely is related to the hosting. So contact your hosting provider and go through the following steps. First, we will try to save our permalinks again. This will regenerate the htaccess file, which might just solve the problem. In the WordPress dashboard, under Settings, go to Permalinks, and hit save. You'll see the permalink structure updated notice. Now go back to your page and check if the error is resolved. If not, you can also try to change the permalink structure to plain, if it wasn't already. Some servers do not allow you to write to the htaccess file, and as a matter of fact, you cannot always modify your permalink structure and edit in Elementor. So hit save changes and check again. The next thing you should do is verify with your host provider that your WordPress install includes the htaccess file. If for some reason you're still stuck with the error message, you're most likely dealing with an HTTP error. Pay attention that these following steps are for advanced users and should be performed by your host provider or another professional. If you're dealing with an HTTP error, then in the error notice, the line that points to the issue will be the HTTP error code, followed by its error message, just like you see here. Hitting the preview debug link will try to open the preview in a new regular page, so not in the editor. You should see the error again in raw format, which may provide more info for developers to solve the issue. Another thing you should do is verify that there isn't a redirect on the page. If you're receiving 403 errors, you should check the following. First off, you may have a corrupt htaccess file. Contact your hosting provider to see if this is the case. If this didn't help solve the issue, then your file permissions may not be correct. Ask your host provider to check that your WordPress directories and files have the correct permissions. 403 errors might also occur due to a security plugin. To sort this out, activate the learning mode of the plugin or contact their support. This issue can also be due to the firewall of your server, which is something you should check with your hosting company. Now, if you are receiving 401 errors, you are attempting to access a page that requires authentication. If the page shouldn't be asking for authentication, contact your host provider for help in removing this requirement or check security plugins you may be using for options to turn this off. If you receive 500 errors while using Elementor, you have to check the error logs of your server to see what the issue is. These errors are server related, so the logs need to be sent to your hosting company beforehand. If you do not know how to produce PHP error logs, please send this guide to your hosting company. Most of the time, this error message is received because of a memory limit issue. The memory limit has to be set to at least 128 megabytes according to our requirements. You can go to Elementor, System Info, WordPress Environment to check it out. There are other things that can lead to this issue, for instance, a fatal error or an issue with a third-party plugin. And without the error logs, it's not possible to know what the exact issue is. The Elementor System Info page has logging capabilities as well. So if the error 500 results from a bug in the code, you should be able to see the PHP error message there. It could look something like this. So if memory isn't the issue, perhaps a plugin is causing the error. You can identify the culprit here, after the plugin directory. Now, there are some other less common reasons for this error, such as conflicts with membership plugins. So, contact your hosting provider and check your permissions on pages built with Elementor and membership plugins. Another less common yet possible cause for this error might be an issue with Cloudflare's Rocket Loader. We have added a flag that disables Rocket Loader for the Elementor scripts in the editor for version 2.5 and up. You can check out this link to learn more about solving issues by creating specific rules in Cloudflare. If your hosting company is not able to solve the issue, and you are a pro user, you can send a ticket with the error logs to our support via support@elementor.com, or check out our fatal error guide here. Well, that's it. Now you know how to troubleshoot and fix the preview could not be loaded error step by step, and get back to designing your website with Elementor. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips and tutorials. See you later.